These are the 10.7 notes for Algebra 2. Our topic today is positive and negative on a graph. So positive, or another way of saying it, is f of x is greater than 0. So those two both mean positive, just a different way of writing it. And that's when we have the graph that's above the x-axis. And your x-axis is here. So you can see that your graph kind of starts off below and then goes above. So if you have like maybe a highlighter, or maybe just take your pencil, this is the part that's above the x-axis, as well as that part right there. And then negative, or f of x is less than 0, means it's going to be below the x-axis. Here's the x-axis, and the part that would be below would be this little chunk right here, and that little piece right there. And we're going to name these in intervals just like we did before, from here to here, from here to here. All right, so let's look at our first example. First part says, where is the graph positive? So I'm going to mark my positive with this green color here. So positive is going to be this area right there. So that's going to be from 3 all the way until 7. And notice how we have that same notation with the less than x. We're going to do the same thing with those that we did with the increasing and decreasing. Now, where is the graph negative? That would be this section right here, as well as that section right here. So, because that kind of goes on forever, we're going to be marking that as that negative infinity. So on the left-hand side, starting here, because it's an arrow, you're going to say negative infinity, less than x, less than, and all the way up until the 3. And then you got this other section, which starts at 7. So we say from 7 all the way until, and notice the arrow goes on forever, we use our positive infinity sign. All right. Next problem, example number 2. Where is f of x greater than 0? So remember, this is another way of saying positive. So it's positive in 2 sections. We've got this part right here is positive above the line, and as well as that part right there is positive. So as we write that, it would be from the left arrow, so negative infinity, same symbols we always use, all the way until negative 1. Then we start again at 3, all the way until, and again, you've got that arrow, which means positive infinity. Anything to the right is positive infinity. To the left would be your negative infinity. And then let's take a look at our negative section. Our negative section would be this part down here. And that's what that means, negative. And we've got it from negative 1 all the way until positive 3, from negative 1 to 3. Our third example here. Let's highlight. Determine the domain on which values for x, for which f of x is greater than 0. So that is just a very fancy way of saying positive. And domain just refers to the x's. So determine the x range on which the values of x, I think that is an extra word in there. Determine the domain which values of x for which f of x is greater than 0, positive. All right, so that's going to be this section right here, positive, which we'll write as negative 3 until 2. Nope, just kidding, that's a 1. until 1. Yeah, from -3 to 1. Okay. And then the other part, where it's going to be negative, is this section as well as that section. And remember, you read the graph left to right. So that would be from -infinity all the way until -3. And then it picks back up at 1. Oops, sorry about that. And then goes all the way to +infinity.